Welcome back, everyone, and I want to thank you once again for supporting Bascome's Corner. So excited about today's book. Okay, I read a book, and it was an awesome read, very short, called The Empty Chair, Sitting with Forgiveness. I'm gonna have the author here. She's actually doing some work with me, working with The Power of One, and her name is Moo-Young. So Ayana has a master's degree in counseling, psychology, restorative practice. Does a training through the International Institute of Restorative Practice. 20 years providing services for families, individuals, and also communities. She's worked with many education systems. So I'm actually excited. I mean, she has great experience. So she's created this book based on her journey. And I am excited to have the conversation with her because when I was reading the book, The Empty Chair, Sitting with Forgiveness, I was going through the whole book and realizing like how much, I saw myself in these chairs that she, resembles these chairs in these journeys of her life and how things had changed for her. So I'm excited about it. So what I'm gonna do is get her connected now. So let's go and enjoy this journey, with Ayana Moo-Young, okay? Let's get on Zoom. First of all, it's a pleasure to have you here on Bascome's Corner. And, before we get in and dive into it, I don't read a lot. Okay? And I'm sure I told you this before, but I read the book and it so much connects. Yeah, and it's so brave, right? The bravery of your strength and your, going through fear and really getting to share your story. So I just want to have a conversation with you. So we're here. So let's talk about this book. Yeah, let's talk about this book, like The Empty Chair, Sitting with Forgiveness. Like, come on. You gotta, before we get into the 6 hours and the strategy, where did this all start? Like how do you have to get over that fear to even write this or pull this together? Like, where did it come from?
You know what? In 2015, I started my company, I Am Empowerment, and it was mainly geared towards helping people to enhance their personal development. And because I had actually gone through a whole mindset change. I had begun to take my personal development seriously. And I want to say that happened in about 2014. I had gotten involved with the company. We had a lot of personal development opportunities, as well as, just reading. And it really broadened my horizons about life and how to live it. And so from there, I started my company in 2015. And as I said, it was around personal development, helping people to, like most people say these days, live their best life, right?
Yes, yeah.
I did that, and I felt like the next logical step, because I was going to be doing some public speaking, was to write a book. And I wanted the book to be meaningful. I knew that I had a story to share with people. And the reason that I wrote it is, if I can get, through all of these obstacles and these experiences, then I feel like anyone can.
We have to be honest and clear of ourselves before we can move. We have to be able to be truthful to ourselves. And when we share that story, it's so empowering. But that's when we know we healed, right? I mean, I don't know how you felt, but I know when I was going through all this stuff, it was like a healing for me.
I had written the first manuscript, which was only about the chairs. I didn't give you any background information because I wasn't sure how much I wanted to share. And, the fear comes in and you don't want to make people angry and make your family upset with you.
The one thing you said is that emotional freedom, right? The emotional freedom. But was you concerned when you was writing this book, right? Because I know I've been in a position where I'm had to forgive, okay? I've been through a lot of my journey, and many people, right? Even if forgiving somebody for missing a penalty kick, I mean, yeah. I'm so competitive, and one of my players missed a shot, and I just want to strangle him, but you can't carry this, right? So me, I had to figure this out quickly, and even in my life's journey. But the one thing is that I really was really took to it is that you said emotional journey, right? So in this process of writing this, did you feel any concern with the people, when you're forgiving, right? I mean, have you had any conversations with them like that you had to, because that can be tough, right? For them to really realize that, wow, I'm that chair, right? Right. That's me.
That's very true. Yes. Well, some of the individuals in the book have already perished. They've already died and moved on.
Okay.
And so the only person I actually had a conversation with was my dad, and I actually share that with you in the book. I don't regret any of these experiences. I think these experiences have made me who I am today, and it enables me to go out and empower other people to forgive, to share their own stories. And so I'm grateful.
Now, so I want to dive into it. The one thing is that I really love is that I love giving people tools to go away with. And I've read in the book, you use the 6 R's. Strategy that you actually kind of developed. I love that there's a tool. So let's have this conversation about the empty chair, sitting with forgiveness, and these 6 R's, right? Your strategy, so the 6 R's as I see here, and and I went through every one of them, and it really was interesting because I'm like, wow, that's the first thing I done. Is recognizing, right? Recognize. The first R, recognize. You gotta recognize, right? So talk to me a little bit like recognizing. Like you had to recognize something was wrong or something you was going through, or forgiveness. What did it look like?
First step, as you said, is recognize. And how do we recognize? We recognize through our emotions. We recognize, if you get around someone that, maybe you feel like has wronged you. Like in the book, I give the example of my stepmother.
Yes.
And because that was the first chair that I talked about, and how I recognize that although a lot of those experiences occurred when I was younger, even as an adult, when I would get around her, I just felt some type of emotions, negative emotions towards her. And because I wanted to get rid of those emotions and move on with my life, that was the moment that I recognized that, hey, I have to do something different.
Yeah, and that's where it starts. So I can see, because the same thing with me, I had to recognize that what's going on is not working.
Yeah, there you go.
Some people go through life, and it's crazy to go through life and they're like, yeah, not working. I'm fine, right? And they just put these blinders on because and then they rebel, right? They go through this rebellious stage.
Just like people in recovery, they say the first step is to acknowledge you have a problem. Same type of concept.
Second R was you gotta relieve, right? And relieve. So that actually because once I had recognized it, there was some steps that you had in here that it would have probably structured me a lot better, like to relieve. But I went from recognizing to now I just want to heal. Okay. And then I forgot about it. I felt that if I could recognize as a situation, I'm just gonna forget about it. Yeah. And then, but so I had no structure on how I'm gonna forgive. I was like, okay, I recognize it. Okay, it's done. It's forgiving, but it was still there. Yeah. So relieve. So what does that look like?
Relieving yourself is actually emptying out whatever it is that you want to say. There's no right way or wrong way to say it. Relieve yourself. If what happened was devastating to you, if you had these negative emotions, or whatever your thoughts and feelings are, there's nothing wrong with expressing them, because it's a part of the healing. You have to let it come up and come out.
I love the processing tool. Now we got to work, right? Because after your R's, you have these processes. So for instance, we have work to do, okay? You are now facing your chair. It was so powerful because I'm reading through, and then when you got now it's to do, right? The things we have to do, okay? And that's what I love about the tools. What's my next step? So you have here, what is the first thing you would like to say, right? What is the first thing? And if I take it to myself and I'm thinking, I'm trying to get forgiveness, but I'm trying to relieve things, you're helping me grind through it. So I have to think about what's the first thing I would love to say. Okay, remember, there's no right or no wrong thing to say, right? So empowering here, what did you want at the time? What did you want?
What did you want at the time?
Yeah.
Exactly. This happened and this is how it made me feel. At the time, I could have just used this, or this would have made it better.
Once you let it all go, and once you relieved yourself, what was left for you? Like, how did you feel?
You have a sense of liberation, and I think at the end of all of the 6 R's, you feel a sense of liberation. But after you relieve, it's almost as if a weight has been lifted. It's, like I said, if you talk to people about your experiences, and people can even tell you things that I feel like are a little insensitive, like things happen for a reason and so forth. Well, this has impacted my life. This has impacted my relationships with other people. This has impacted my personality on the job, or, whatever the situation is. And they'll tell you, oh, you shouldn't say this, or you shouldn't say that, or you shouldn't say you hate people, or you should. If that's what you're feeling at the time before you get to the last step, then let it come up and let it out.
That's so strong, because it's when I was going through and relieving everything that was inside of me, right? I did feel like, wow, like I really felt there was a burden. I just let it go, and I can really literally see it right in front of me. It was just this craziness about it. My mind was a lot clearer. It's just what do we do next, right? With your third in these steps to forgiveness, repent. I'm gonna read something here which I felt was very encouraging. You said to accept. We have to be able to accept responsibility, okay, for 2 things. Any judgment that we have passed, revenge you've sought, okay, and the pain you inflicted on anyone else due to your unwillingness. So the other one was the mental, emotion, and physical trauma that you have caused to yourself for harboring the feelings of unforgiveness. And so strong, because it's a lot of people don't repent, right? They don't, and they just continue and it's
and it means to turn away. People see it as a religious term. I'm not being religious. This book is really about a connection and being more spiritual than religious. Really, so it really has nothing to do with a certain religion, but it's about repent. In that sense, it's turn away from it.
Yes, yeah.
Turn away from it, because you're only harming yourself in the end. So turn away from it.
So now your access, once we get through this process, one of the tools is that once you get to this strategy and this R, your access to do the work, right? This is the process.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to do the work. So I actually checked off one. Are you willing to forgive them, even if you never received an apology? Yeah, why?
That's a biggie.
Why not? Yes.
That is a biggie for a lot of people. At the end of the day, the forgiveness is for you, not the other person. And you would be amazed at how many people believe that they can't forgive someone unless they receive an apology. And you may never get an apology. The person's perception of the events may not even be the same as yours. So, it's a process that you have to go through, and you have to be determined to go through it for yourself. At the end of the day, the person who you believe harmed you has moved on with their lives.
Exactly.
They're sleeping well at night. They don't have to self-medicate, and here you are destroying yourself.
Stressing yourself out, stressing out. Yeah, I'm worried about this person. And I'm like, they don't care about me. They just moved along with their life, and I'm sitting up here in good misery. And it's crazy, because as we said, that's where the emotional freedom, when you go through this forgiveness and you go through these fears, once it's gone, you just feel relief, because I'm held these things for so long, been angry at somebody for so long, and I'm like, they don't even care. They not even care. The other one you have, have you caused anyone else harm, directly or indirectly, due to your unwillingness to forgive? Who and what happened? So I'm just going through this, and I'm saying, have I ever caused anyone harm? Sure, indirectly. And then is that, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I haven't even bothered to forgive them. So this is when, before I went through that, I'm like, I haven't even bothered to tell them, yeah, it's cool. It's I forgive you, because sometimes people don't move. And you really hurt them, especially I find this in leaders, people who run businesses, people who are in that leadership role is follow me only because, I'm your boss. And they don't realize what they're doing because they have no clue. They haven't.
Write a whole nother book on forgiveness and business.
Oh, I'm sure.
Forgiveness and resilience, I tell you.
That can be given to a lot of people. Yeah. The one thing I do love, and before I get to, the next R, is that, what this helps you. One thing is that I was looking, when I forgave and went through this process myself, I realized I was able to engage more, and there was more people that looked like me. So the fourth step of forgiveness, and just a part of the strategy, right? You got to release. You got to let it go. You have to.
Any thoughts or any what I like to call unrealistic beliefs or things that you believed about yourself that maybe somebody told you you were stupid or ugly, or that you weren't going to make it. You have to release all of that negative thinking. Just let it go. So what is it that was said to you that caused you to have these beliefs about yourself? Whether or not you really think that you believe what was said, or whatever it is that you took from the situation that could have caused you to have these negative beliefs about yourself.
For everyone, it seems like, or it appears, that I've lost Ayana. So I do apologize. So I was just trying to get her back. So we're going to move on. Yeah, we're going to talk about the last two R's that she has in her book. So the next R is replace. She has here is that negative experiences that we have failed to forgive cause us to believe false information about ourselves. So for me, there's been many times in my life where I'm forgave so much and I'm released it, but now the big piece is that you gotta now replace it, right? You gotta replace the negativity with positive. If it's positive behavior, if it's what we say, if it's what we take in, that's also got to do with our circle, the people we hang around. The one thing I love about this book, there's a process when you're going through these steps, and there's an action piece, and the action piece allows us to do the work ourselves. You're not just going to read this book and through her journey you're going to get all these awesome tools, but then no, you're going to have to work, right? You're going to have to work. So here, for instance, you got to have a willingness to change is number one. Okay, so let's do the work. So part of the process in this step of replace, in this fifth R, is name a minimum of 3 negative, undesirable thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you may have developed, okay, during your experience. So 3 negative things, okay, 3 negative things. Now, what she's asking is that you take that, and a part of this growth is now you're going to name 3 positive things, okay? So what she's saying is that replace the statements with the opposite of what you have stated in a positive form. So whatever 3 you wrote negative, right on the other side, the same statements, write something positive. Step number 6, and the last step and the last R, revive. Okay, this is a quote by Tony Robbins. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Now you're gonna have to reset. Now you have to reset. It's like a rebirth, right? You got a clean slate. Now you gotta move on. Now you got a blank sheet. After you forgave, okay, everything's clean now. Everything's clean. And even if you have to forgive yourself for something, right? Everything is clean. Even if it's just forgiving somebody for the little things, or somebody you haven't seen for a long time, okay? There's a clean slate. Is what you do next, right? What are you gonna do next? Staying empowered, positive behavior, positive thoughts, positive circles. Surround yourself around people that's gonna move you, friends that's gonna move you, okay? And the one thing is that in conclusion of the book, is what I've realized is that the power to forgive creates a huge emotional freedom. The power to forgive creates emotional, even physical freedom. So the 6 R's: recognize, relieve, repent, release, replace, and revive. I want to say thank you. Ayana, thank you for your book. Okay, really enjoyed it. I want to thank you out there for supporting us and watching us. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Okay, thanks to everyone who's subscribed to us. Okay, greatly appreciate it. So looking forward to seeing everyone next time. Thank you.